Say hello to my little friend! Hello my little friends, we've got an easy song for you this week, a really easy song, absolute classic song, Peter Sarstedt, Where Do You Go To My Lovely? I think it's from 1968, I hope I've got that right, I really do. It's in C major, it's in our favourite key for the ukulele, so easy to play because all we do is hold down that one little string there, and we've got our C major chord, isn't that just great? Imagine trying to do that on the guitar. One finger, one string. There's no chords you can play on the guitar with one finger on one string. And that's why we love the uke. We're going to do all the chords. I'm going to go through the chords with you straight away. It starts on the C. And the second chord is an E minor chord, which I play like this. E minor. The third chord is a chord of F. We're going to play the full F, but if you're a beginner you can get away with playing it just by holding that there. What will happen is this string here will be giving you a G, which creates what we call an F ninth. Can you hear that? See how it's not quite a full F. So I play my F like this. Okay, that's the F. Beginners, you can play like this. And the fourth chord is a G, which we've got to play with 3 strings, I'm afraid, but it's easy. Just make this little V shape here. So the first line, well, you look like Marlene Dietrich, and you dance like Gigi Jean. And then we go into the second verse, which is exactly the same. Your clothes are all made by Wilde, and there's diamonds and pearls in your hair. But it changes now, suddenly changes on the hair, changes on the last line, and it descends. We've got a G chord that descends, and we're going to have to do some tricky work to achieve that on the ukulele. So we're going to start with a G, and then we're going to go to a G seventh, which is the V, but it's up the other way. So that's taken our G here. We want to go one more, don't we? So how are we going to do that? Well, if we go one more note descending from the G chord, it actually makes it into an E minor chord. Changes it from an E seventh to an E minor chord. So there's the E minor that you already learned. So it's what note would that be? This one? Ooh, well that's a D. It's already in the G chord. So just play a normal G again. So in fact, I'll show you on the keyboard. So what we've actually got is a G chord that we want to descend. And we just do it by doing a G, and then a G seventh, then an E minor, and then back to a G. See, that's all a G chord. Much easier than you'd think, isn't it, to get that descent going? In a way, having 4 strings makes it easier sometimes. So listen to you'll hear it descending because your ear kind of follows that movement. You see, your ear picks out the note that's making that pattern work, that's making the descent work. So I'll play now the second part of the verse now that you've learnt those. Your clothes are all made by a bellman, and there's diamonds and pearls in your hair, yes there are. And same again. And you live in a fancy apartment on the boulevard Saint-Michel, where you play your Rolling Stones records and a friend of Sarstedt, yes you do. And now we're into the chorus. How does the chorus work? Wow. But where do you go to? C chord again. My lovely. E minor, same again. Good heavens, is it exactly the same? Let's have a look. Where do you go to, my lovely, when you're alone in your bed? Why don't you tell me the thought the same so far. I want to look inside your head, yes I do. So it is, it's exactly the same. So that was your pleasant surprise, is that you've already learned the chorus by learning the verses. So I hope you have great fun with that song. When we get to the last verse, I like to do the following with this song, just to give you some prickles, to give you a bit of a shiver. I remember the back streets of Naples, two children dressed in rags, both touched with a burning ambition, throw off their lowly bond as they try. So look into my eyes very clear, and remember just who you are, and then go and forget me forever. I know you still wear the scar deep inside. I know where you go to, my lovely, when you're alone in your bed. And I know the thoughts that surround you, 'cause I can see inside your head. If you are a beginner, maybe skip this part because it's going to confuse you, but if you're wanting to learn more, we've got the intro which goes like this. So we've got C here, we can make another C up here. In the same way that we made our G down here with a V shape, we can use the V up here to make a C, because any chord that's got this note in it, which is a G, we can make using this V shape. So a G obviously has the G in it. C also has a G in it. See that? We can also make, what could we make? We could make a chord of E flat. So that would be here. Oh, isn't that beautiful? That's an E flat. Try that on a guitar. So what we do is we take our G and we stick it up here. We've got a dot. We've got a dot right here on the uke, and you should have a dot right there. You've got these two dots. That will show you where to play your C. So that takes you up to the C. You see how I'm picking the strings? Now if that's a C major, we make it minor by flattening that and making a V shape. It's almost like a tick shape now. It's like a tick shape rather than a V shape. And we can still have the G in there for the C minor. We're not looking for C minor, we're not looking for D minor, we're looking for E minor. Okay, E minor also contains a G. So look, V shape and then a tick shape, and look, see that the V shape goes onto that dot there on your uke. That's how you can find a C really easily. But when you want to make an E minor chord, that's even better. You've got this whole group here, and that's where your tick sits, right on there. Okay, next chord is going to be the F. Now, where you've got the two dots here on the fretboard, if we make a V shape that V's, where the spike of the V goes onto those two dots, we get an E chord. And if we do it where the tops of the V go onto that double dot, we get an F chord. Does that make sense? Because F and E are right next to each other. There's no E sharp and there's no F flat. Those two notes are right next door to each other. So we want F, so we're going to go C, E minor, and then F, with the tips of the V on our double dot. And that's just playing with our little pinky finger. We're going a whole note and then a half note. Back onto that note. But now what we need to do is we need to try and make a G chord. We make that by putting a bar across this fret here, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th fret, okay? It's got our second dot on it. That's actually where the C chord was. So we're there. It's quite hard to do this. whole note, whole note, whole note, and then a whole note to there from the bar with our G chord. So we've got our G chord there, but we're adding, instead of we're doing that. So it's all whole notes all the way down. So I'll play that again for you. C chord, and then we're in with, well, you look like Marlene Dietrich. Okay, so you see, even I can't play that particularly well. It's very, very technical, but if you practice it a lot, you're really going to be impressed with that intro. Especially the little slide at the beginning. And if you can't stretch here, I find it hard to stretch this actually sometimes. Just play the first note there with your pinky. Now I'm going to explain why that's a G chord here. It's a G chord of this shape. This is a new shape of chord that I'm going to teach you. Why is that a G chord? Well, if we let's go all the way down. And look, we're back to the C. We're back to the C chord, but we don't need to use our finger here because we've got a piece of bone there doing it for us. We can go from C to C sharp to D sharp to E to F to G. And there's the G chord. Beg your pardon, F sharp, G. That's the G chord there. And the reason I knew that that was wrong is because I could see these dots here, look, we've got 2 frets in between. It's so easy to find your G chord there, because you put the bar on the first one and you put your little finger there. Or whichever finger you feel comfortable. Add a few little slides in there, it's going to sound really beautiful. Don't forget to practice your singing. Don't forget to warm up your voice. I hope you enjoy this song. There's a hell of a lot of lyrics to learn. I suggest you learn the short version, which only has about, I think, 12 verses? No, I think it's about 10. I think it's about 10 verses. I think there's 12 in the full version. Enjoy that song. If you want to help me out, there's a PayPal link in the description below. All help to keep this channel going. Be really appreciated. And also, if you've got any songs that you'd like me to work out for you, there's really no limits with this instrument. I've yet to find a song I can't work out on the uke. The harder the better. The more crazy the song, the more crazy the choice, the better. Trust me. Thanks. Till next time. Aloha. If you are a beginner, maybe skip this part because it's going to confuse you, but if you're wanting to learn more, we've got the intro which goes like this. If I can remember it myself. That's it.